to the Kirsty Way Yoga, and today we have a vinyasa-less flow. So a wrist-free flow, which means that there will not be any downward facing dogs or planks or chaturangas in sight, which I'm sure for some of you that is music to your ears. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to be a strong flow. So we're still going to be building quite a lot of heat in the body. So just because there's no vinyasas in it doesn't mean that it's going to be super easy. So for this practice, I recommend that you do have a block or even just like a thick book that you can use. But if you don't have anything, then that's okay too. We can always make it work. And I always like to sit on a bolster to begin with, just to elevate the hips. But again, you can sit on a block or on a cushion. It's completely up to you, but we are going to be seated for a couple of minutes doing some pranayama. So just make sure that you are in a position where the spine can be nice and straight and we're almost tipped a little bit forward over the hips rather than backwards, okay? And as always in your yoga practice, this is your practice. I am just a guide. And if there's anything that I say that doesn't quite align with you today, align with where your body is at, align with even where your energy levels are at, then please feel free to just leave what doesn't serve you or leave what doesn't align with you and take what does, okay? No one's watching you, I can't see you, so if you sat on the couch just watching this, then that's okay too. And we'll get started in a seated position. So I like to cross my legs, but feel free to kneel or just to come into any position that works for you. And we will straighten through the spine. And I invite you here to close the eyes as we soften the shoulders away from the ears. And maybe we soften any places that we may be holding on tension to. So for a lot of us, that's between the eyebrows or the jaw. For some of us, we may hold the shoulders quite tightly, and that's why we get all this tension in the traps. And the invitation here is to soften the belly, so we allow the breath to just move exactly as it should be doing in and out of the belly. So we're not restricting it at all. We're not trying to hold the belly in or make ourselves smaller in any way. We're really letting ourselves expand here, utilizing our breath. And just finding this moment of stillness. Allowing the sounds to wash over the ears. The thoughts to wash through the mind. And with the thoughts, maybe we see them as just waves. Waves in the vast blue ocean. And one wave isn't more important than the other. And we actually don't want to get washed away with the waves. And if we're using this analogy, then maybe the mind is a little bit choppy today. Maybe it's got some powerful energy underneath the surface. Or maybe the mind is actually feeling still and calm. And wherever it is that you are at today, just invite yourself to be here. No resisting, no swimming against the waves. We all know there's no point in doing that. It only leaves us tired and drained and feeling like we are fighting a losing battle. So just for a moment, can we just be with ourselves? And just for a moment, can we let go of all resistance, of wishing that things could be different? And allow ourselves to settle into this perfect moment. And then we're going to begin to build some heat in the body, and I'm going to start to do this by practicing a pranayama called breath of fire or Kapalabhati. And what this means is we take a big inhale in, and then we take short exhales through the mouth and short exhales through the nose and passive inhales through the nose. So it sounds like this. Okay, and every time we do that sharp exhale through the nose, the belly wants to press in and out and in and out. And you might even want to use some feedback from the hands to make sure that this is happening. But if you've practiced this breath before and you sort of know the ins and outs of it, then feel free to just leave the hands resting on the knees. And we'll go for 3 rounds here. So taking a big clearing breath in and a big clearing breath out through the mouth. And then we'll start our first round, and we're just going to do 20 each. So big breath in, breath of fire. Breathing out, big breath in, clearing breath out. We're going to go on to our second round, big breath in, round 2. And let it go. Last big breath in. And clearing breath out. And final breath in, breathing in through the nose. And our final round here. Good job. Final breath in. I've said final breath about 3 times now, but this really is. And final clearing breath out. Good job. Okay. Remove whatever it is that you're sat on. Blink the eyes open and let's get started. So we're going to come on to our backs, and before we come onto our backs, just dig the heels in towards the floor, send the fingertips forward and tuck the chin into the chest and take a slow roll down. So we've just built a little bit of fire in the belly from our breath of fire, and now we're going to build it from our asana practice as well. So taking both legs up towards the ceiling, pointing the toes or flexing the feet is completely up to you. I like to point the toes, but a lot of yogis like to flex the feet, so I'm just going to leave that up to you. And then on the inhale, we're going to lower this right leg down towards the ground, hovering the heel. And on the exhale, bringing the legs back together. Breath in as we lower the left. And breath out as we lift back up. And the moment that you notice the lower back start to arch or lift off the ground, then that's where we want to stop. So it doesn't have to come all the way towards the floor. Inhale to lower. And exhale to lift. Move with your breath. Inhale left to lower. Exhale to lift. Firm the quadriceps here. Inhale right. Exhale to lift. Inhale left. Exhale to lift. Good. Inhale right to lower. And we're going to hold here. Firm the quadriceps. Squeeze the glutes. And we'll stay for 3, 2, 1. Lifting back up. And then the left leg lowers. And we're going to hold for 3. Press the lower back in towards the ground for 2. And 1 to lift back up. Good job. Planting the feet down, hips width apart. Knees face up towards the sky. As we take an inhale, lift the hips up towards the sky and reach the arms backwards. And as we exhale, as if we're peeling a sticker back down, vertebrae by vertebrae, lowering the hips. Press into all 4 corners of the feet as we inhale and lift. And exhale as we lower back down. Imagine you've got a band around the thighs so the knees are staying super stable and not moving. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Let's go 2 more. Breath in to lift. Lengthen through the lower spine, the tailbone. Exhale to lower. Last breath in. And then staying with the hips nice and high, maybe we clasp the hands underneath the body, tuck the shoulders in. As we squeeze the glutes, lift the hips. And we stay here for 4. As we breathe, can we feel the ribs expand, the belly expand for 3. For 2. And 1, let that release. Peel the spine back down. Hug the knees in towards the chest. And we're going to take a rock and a roll up the mat to come all the way to standing. So we might need to use the fingertips lightly on the floor to get there. But try and build that momentum so we can plant the feet and come into a forward fold here. Bend the knees. The belly drips over the thighs, the head drips down towards the earth as we take a ragdoll, opposite hand to opposite elbow. Release the clasp of the hands, press through all 4 corners of the feet as we slowly start to roll up through the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. And when we arrive at the top, take a big inhale to reach. And an exhale to swan dive down, hinge from the hips, heart forward, hips back. Uttanasana fold. Breath into halfway lift, fingertips to shins. Pull the hips back, the heart forward. And exhale, Uttanasana, folding forward. Breath in as we roll through the spine, reach through the fingertips. And breath out, forward fold, hinge from the hips, swan dive down. Breath in to gaze forward, flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. We'll go one more time, breath in, root down through the feet to rise up. Through the spine, through the fingertips. And breath out, forward fold, nice and slowly, taking our time with these movements. Breath into your flat back, Ardha Hanumanasana. Nope, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Plant through the feet, roll through the spine. Breath in to reach. And breath out, hands come towards the heart. Breath in to reach. And then take hold of the left wrist with the right hand. And we're going to side bend towards the right, lengthening through the left side of the body. Keep breathing here as we open up through the left shoulder. And then breath in back to center. And take hold of that right wrist with the left hand. And let's come over to the opposite side. The moment that you lose the length of your breath is the moment that your body is signaling for you to ease off the posture a little bit. So if you feel like you've gone really deep in this side bend and you've lost the breath, then just see how it feels to ease out. Breath in back to center, breath out, hands towards the heart. Always finding that balance between our effort and our ease. Coming to stand with our feet hips width apart. Breathing in, reaching the fingertips up to the ceiling. And breathing out, sinking into the heels, sending the fingertips back. And maybe then coming onto the toes. Plant the heels, breath in to reach. And breath out to our floating chair. Send the heart forward. Breath in to reach, to stand, to rise. And breath out to our floating chair. Good, breath in. As we reach up this time, the right knee is going to come towards the chest. And as we breathe out, we're going to come into aeroplane, sweeping the right leg back, flex the foot this time, send the fingertips back and come into that nice flat back. Breath in here. And breath out to lightly step the toes back. Breath in to reach. And breath out, bring the hands towards the heart, tap the back knee down. Breath in to reach, to lift the back knee up, firm the quadricep. And breath out to tap down, bring the hands towards the heart. Beautiful, let's flow here. Breath in to reach. And out. In. And out. Last breath in. And out, coming all the way down, untucking the back toes, planting the back knee, and taking a breath into our Anjaneyasana, sinking into this front hip. And then I invite you just to have a little bit of movement in the upper body here. So we're keeping nice and stable through the lower body, through our feet, through the quadriceps, through the calves. And that allows the upper body to find some freedom. So where does it want to go today? Does it want a twist? Does it just want a little bit of a shoulder roll? Just give yourself permission here to move in a way that may not look very aesthetic, but that feels good for you. Good, and then inhale back off, send the fingertips up, and exhale, straighten into this left leg, send the fingertips back, and bow down. Nice and slowly here, breath in to reach, and breath out to straighten, and send it back. So we're adding a little bit of element of balance to our Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhale to reach, exhale to send it back. Good, last time, breath in to reach. And breath out to send it back. And this time, stay tall, tuck the back toes. And we can either stay here, you might want to pad up the bottom knee, or actually don't place the hands on the hips, we might need them for a little bit of balance. We can try and pick up this left heel and try and stay super straight towards the front of the mat. Use the core to help with that lift. Use those psoas muscles for 3, 2, And one, good job. Place that heel down. Sink back into this left hip. Inhale to lift. Exhale, hands towards the heart. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Breath in to lift. And breath out. We're going to twist towards the right, sending the right fingertips forward, the left back. Breath in, back to center. Breath out to twist. Into center. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Find that stability. Breath out to twist. And then drop the back hand to the back leg. Reach up through the right fingertips and hold here. And a little bit of a back bend, making sure we're finding as much length as possible through the lumbar spine. Opening through the thoracic and stay in for 3, 2, and 1. Back to center. Hands towards the heart. Coming back into our aeroplane. So really planted into this left foot, spreading the toes, sending the right foot back. Sending the fingertips back. Flexing the back foot, turning the right hip down. And then inhale, knee towards the chest. And exhale, standing pigeon. So taking the outside of the right ankle onto the left thigh and seeing if we can sink all the way down so the elbows make contact with our shin or our calf. And can we settle into this space or this shape, whatever we've created for ourselves? And can we find a moment of stillness here? For just one more breath. Beautiful. Standing all the way back up, knee to chest. And exhale, plant both feet down. Nice work. Take a breath in to reach. And out to place the hands at the lower back. Coming into a standing back bend. Almost as if we're trying to open through the back of the heart rather than thinking about it as a back bend. Coming back to center. Nice work. Okay, left hand side. Inhale, left knee to the chest. And take that exhale to aeroplane. Flat back as we spin the toes down towards the mat. Spin the left heel down. Pause in here. And then lightly step those left toes back as we take an inhale to lift through the fingertips and an exhale to take that tap down of the left knee. Breath in to rise, to power up, and breath out to lightly tap. In and out. Really use the breath here for energizing through the legs, for building that heat. We've got 2 more times. Breath in and breath out. Last breath in and then breath out. Left knee comes towards the floor. Untuck the toes as we breathe in, reaching the fingertips up. And then once again, find that movement in the upper spine. So what do we need here? How can we give ourselves what we need in our practice? And maybe it's different on this side than the other side. Just stay curious. And on your next breath in, once again sweeping fingertips up and breath out to straighten into that front leg, floating Ardha Hanuma. Breath in to sink, to bend, to rise, and breath out to straighten, to bow, to surrender down. Find the space in the hamstrings, in the hips, breathing in and breathing out. Last inhale in And exhale out, and this time remember we're staying up high. We're tucking the back toes to give us some more stability. Keeping your drishti or your gaze on a spot in front of you that's not moving. Really firm through the core here. Brace the core as maybe we pick up that right heel just a couple of inches. Maybe we have a wobble. And we stay in this space wherever we are, embracing the wobbles for 3, 2, and 1. Lightly step that right foot down, tuck the back toes, take an inhale to reach, and an exhale to twist to the right this time, right fingertips back, left forward. Breath in, back to center, everything squeezes into that midline, and breath out to twist. Really focus on that front foot here, the spread of the toes, breath in, and breath out. And this time dropping the right hand down towards the back leg, lifting up through the left. For 3, 2, 1. Take an inhale back to center, and an exhale to our soaring aeroplane. Once again, just holding here for a couple of breaths. Knee to chest, breath in. And standing pigeon, breath out. Final breath here in this space of stillness or wobbles, whichever is going on for you. And breath in, knee to chest. Breath out, stepping the feet by the side of each other. Standing back bend, breath in to reach. And breath out, place the palms of the hands, fingertips facing up, just on the lower back, supporting the lumbar spine as we open up through the heart. Can we squeeze the shoulder blades together at the back? Can we open up through the throat and still keep control of the head and the neck? And coming back to center. Okay, we're going to do that flow again, but we're going to do it a little bit quicker and not do as many repetitions with the movements. So we're going to do 1 breath to 1 movement and just 1 movement each, if that makes sense. It will do in a minute. Okay, standing with the feet hips width together. Take an inhale into your chair pose, sinking into the heels. And an exhale to rise. Inhale, right knee to chest, hands to heart. Exhale to your aeroplane, send the fingertips back, the right leg back, spin the toes down. Inhale to your high lunge. And exhale to tap. Just once through this time, breath in to rise. Breath out to tap that right knee down. Untuck the toes, breath in to rise. And breath out, Ardha Hanumanasana, straighten that left leg, send the fingertips back. Breath in to bend, to rise. And breath out this time, stay up nice and straight, tuck the back toes, straighten that front leg, picking the heel up just for a breath. And breath out, drop the heel. Breath in, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. And breath out, send the right fingertips forward, the left back. Breath in, drop the back fingertips to the back leg, reach the right up. And breath out, back to center. Breath in to reach. And breath out to your aeroplane. Breath in, knee to chest. And breath out to standing pigeon. 1 breath here. 1 breath out. Breath in, knee to chest. And breath out, plant the feet together, standing back bend. Big breath in as we open. And out as we offer the heart up towards the sky. Breath in to center. And breath out to chest, sink into the heels. Breath in, left knee to chest. And breath out to your aeroplane. Breath in to your high lunge. And breath out, tap the back knee down. Breath in to rise. And breath out to lower the back knee, untuck the toes. Breath in to lift. And breath out, Ardha Hanumanasana, straighten over that front leg, pick the toes up, send the hips back. Breath into Anjayanasana, low lunge. And breath out to straighten that front leg, tuck the back toes, lift the heel, firm through the quadriceps, squeeze through the glutes, just for a breath. And then set it down, breath in. Back to your Anjayanasana, tuck the back toes, lift the back heel. Breath out to twist to the right. Breath in to drop the back fingertips, lift the left up. Breath out, back to your twist. Breath in, back to center. And breath out to your aeroplane. Breath in, knee to chest. And breath out to standing pigeon. One full breath here through the nose. And breathing out through the mouth. Breath in, knee to chest. And breath out to plant the feet, hands to the lower back. Breath in to open. And out to sink into your back bend. Breath in to reach. And breath out to bring the hands towards the heart. Bringing one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart space. And just feeling those spaces beneath you. Maybe the heart rate has elevated slightly. Maybe there's some more heat. And we'll take one breath here. And breathing out. Good, hands back towards the heart. This time we're going to step back with the right leg to warrior two. Sinking into the left knee. And make sure the left knee is tracking towards the little toes. As we take a breath in to touch the fingertips above the head. And a breath out to sink into this front knee, warrior two. Reaching the hands out in opposite directions. Breath in to straighten, to kiss the fingertips above the head. And breath out to your warrior two. And try and spin the thighs away from each other. Breath in. And we just move in through water here. Or we're not moving through water, it's like we're moving through water. Last breath. Keep that front leg straight as we drop the right hand down the back leg and reach through the left. And then back to center. We'll take the right foot just a step shorter. So we're in a little bit of a shorter stance for our triangle. Lining up the front heel with the back arch. And then take that breath in as we reach the left fingertips forward, reach that right hip back. As far as we can possibly go, drop in the left hand on the inside of the left foot into our triangle. We want a nice stack of the left fingertips and the wrist to the shoulder, and then the right shoulder on top of the left, all the way up to the wrist and the fingertips. And we can either keep our gaze up at the right hand or down at the left. And we want to keep the left hand nice and light, whether it's on the shin or on the floor, so we don't want any pressure in the hands here. Everything's coming from this mid region. We're opening up through the collarbones, through the chest, and then taking the right hand down towards the right hip, gazing forward at the left foot, bending into the left knee. And I should have mentioned, this is maybe where you need your block. So popping the block on the left hand side, just diagonal to the left little toe, coming into our half moon, energizing through that right foot. My balance is not there today, and that's okay. Flexing the right foot, almost as if we're trying to kick a door closed, and we can be on any height with this block. And now your challenge is to try and take the pressure off the left hand completely. So can we come into a floating half moon where we're not touching the block or the floor? We've still got that stack of the shoulders, the opening of the right hip, and we're staying for 3, 2, and 1. Lightly stepping back into our warrior 2. And then straightening through that front leg, turning the toes slightly towards each other. You might want to bring your block too. Hands towards the hips, breath in to lengthen through the spine, and breath out to take a forward fold. And depending on what you need, maybe you want to have a shoulder stretch and clasp the hands and push the knuckles towards the ceiling. Or maybe you just want to let them hang out in the middle of the legs. Maybe that head wants to come towards the block. And we breathe here. And we re-energize and take that moment to ground ourselves back in, to reconnect. To remind ourselves that we are on our own journeys or on our own paths. And that however our postures look today are absolutely perfect to us. They're exactly how they should be. You're not bad at yoga because you fell out of your half moon or because you feel less flexible than you did last year in your hamstrings. That doesn't make you bad at yoga. In fact, no physical posture, no matter what, can make you any worse or any better of a yogi. As long as you are here, you're on your mat, you're trying your best to be present, then you are absolutely doing enough. You are showing up for yourself. And we'll take one more breath. And then hands towards the hips. Come up with a nice straight spine. And we'll go to the opposite side. So this time we'll turn the right toes out and sink into that right knee. Again, opening up the thighs. So we want to almost imagine we're spinning the thighs away from each other. Reaching the arms out, palms down. As we take an inhale to straighten everything up. Kiss the fingertips above the head. And then exhale to sink into your warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Breath in to straighten, to reach. And breath out to your warrior. Let's go last time, breath in. And breath out, really use the breath. And then breath in to straighten that front knee. Raise the right fingertips to the sky and just lightly let that left hand slide down the back of the left leg. Inviting some space into the right side of the body, but also not forgetting about the left. So we don't just want to crunch the left in. We still want to keep the left as lengthened as possible. As lengthened as possible? I don't think that that's the right phrase. Let's come back to center. And then once again, taking that shorter stance. And this time we're going to remember and place our blocks on the outside of the right foot. Okay, squeezing the inner thighs together here to prepare for our triangle. Nice and straight in the spine. we're wide across the collarbones, as we take an inhale to reach the right fingertips forward. And when we can't reach anymore, maybe we drop the right hand down on the inside of the leg or to the floor. Or even if you are super open here and flexible, the two-piece fingers may be holding onto the right big toes. I've never been there in my triangle and probably will never be there. And that's okay. I am perfectly happy where I am in Trikonasana. And again, just notice where the prana is flowing. So if we are accessing our prana through our breath, are we letting our breath flow freely, or are we trying to force our bodies into a space that it's not supposed to be? In which case the breath will become stuck or short or sharp. So feel free to adjust, to move around, and keep that neck nice and long. And then left hand drops towards the left hip, gaze down towards the right foot, and we're coming into our half moon. So stepping onto this right foot as we lift the left, energize through that quadricep. And then our challenge, once again, maybe to come into that floating half moon. Floating the right fingertips off the floor. Every day for our balance is completely different. It depends on our hydration, on our sleep, on what we've eaten, on our stress levels. So just be compassionate and curious and playful here. One more breath. And back to center. Whew, good job. Straightening up. Turning the toes towards each other once again. And this time, we're going to take an inhale to reach and an exhale to place the hands in the lower back and take a back bend. Good, coming back to center, turning all 10 toes towards the front. As we step towards the front, take an inhale to reach. And an exhale to come into our toe squat. Lifting the heels, coming all the way down. Taking a pause here. And then finding our way into our Ardha Navasana, our half boat pose. And maybe you might want to explore full Navasana by straightening the legs, sending the fingertips up. Keep the heart lifted, the spine nice and long as we just stay for 6, for 5. Sit with your discomfort here for 4. Yoga's not supposed to be comfortable all the time or easy. For 3, for 2, and 1. Let that release. Plant the feet down as we take a roll down through the spine, the knees in towards the chest, and a rock from side to side. So by dealing with challenging postures on our mat, by slowing ourselves down and allowing ourselves space to feel into our bodies, to feel into our reactions, we then learn to take this off of our mat. Our mats really do give us this perfect playground in which to explore our inner worlds. So then when we're out in the outer world and we get triggered and all the chaos happens, we can really look within ourselves to see how we want to respond rather than unconsciously reacting. Beautiful. Pull the right knee into the chest and taking a supine twist towards the right, or towards the left, sorry. As we take the left hand to the outer right knee, cactus the right arm, plug the right shoulder down. Oh, if you've got any little clicks, then click away. And just breathe into this twist here. And you might want to remind yourself to soften the face, to soften anything that may have become tense again, the belly, the shoulders. Next breath in, we'll come back to center. And breath out, just hug both knees towards the chest, give yourself that roll. And then to the opposite side, breath in, left knee in. And breath out, twisting towards the right this time. Inviting the breath to be full and expansive. And if you've come to this practice specifically because it's wrist-free and you've been experiencing some pain in the wrists or maybe the forearms or the shoulders, just notice the emotions that it's been bringing up for you, or any injury really. And notice how you hold space for these emotions. Do you wish that they weren't there? Do you fight against them? Do you fight against the pain? And it's okay if you do. These are all normal reactions. But just ask yourself if that is the best path. Coming back to center. Coming into a happy baby. Just taking the outsides of the feet and pulling the knees down towards the armpits. And the fact that you're here, that you're doing this wrist-free flow, is a sign enough that you are being compassionate to yourself, that you are taking care of yourself, that you're still moving your body, even though you may have some limitations that you're not used to having, or that maybe you didn't have last year or last month. So just offering yourself this moment to take pride in yourself, to really thank yourself for showing up for your practice. And even maybe for overcoming these limitations or these perceived shortcomings, these injuries, whatever it is that you are experiencing. And holding space for any of the emotions that come up with that. Because you are deserving of all the love and all the care. And let's let go of the feet here and just give yourself a final cuddle, a final hug. Just to really seal that reminder in. And then we're going to take a couple of moments of Shavasana here and find some stillness and some silence. And if you want to take a longer Shavasana, then please feel free to turn the video off now. Or if you want to rest together, then just extend the legs and let the feet flop out. Face the palms towards the ceiling. And soften the gaze or close the eyes. And once again, I invite you to just let go of any resistance. I often use the mantra, there is nothing to resist. There is nothing to resist. And when you are ready, begin to take some deeper, fuller breaths. Imagining the breath traveling from the tips of the toes all the way to the top of the head. And all the way back down on the exhale, as if you're just giving the body a wash with the breath. And slowly start to wiggle the fingers and the toes and pull the knees in towards the chest. Rolling over to your favorite side. Squeezing the knees in, pressing the spine away, and just pausing for that final moment of gratitude here. And maybe it's gratitude for yourself for showing up. Maybe it's gratitude for someone else that's really shown up for you recently. Or an opportunity that's fallen to you. And letting this be the leading energy of the heart space as we come back to seated. Bringing the hands together at the heart. Taking a big breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth. And placing the thumbs between the eyebrows to remind ourselves of the power of our thoughts and of our mind. The thumbs to the throat to remind ourselves of the power of our voice, our words, and our truth. And the hands to the heart space to acknowledge the power of the love that is inside of us, the love that's all around us, and our truest essence, which is ultimately love. Final breath in. And cleansing breath out. I bow my head in deep gratitude to each and every one of you. Namaste.